We're going out for our poop walk, and the sky, well, it actually looks better here, but it's not super happy, it's not super friendly, it's about to rain, so we're trying to do it as fast as possible because I cannot run. So if it rains, we're actually screwed. I am not a runner, but I like to have the option, and I cannot run. Hello friends of YouTube, this is Editing Mae, and I realized that for some reason I didn't record any narration from week 9. I do have footage about it, but I don't have anything actually explaining what happened, so I'm going to be very brief and just run you through week 9. I got a pedicure, which was really important because I couldn't touch my toes and I needed those nails to be trimmed. I also was very sick during week 9, just the consequence of week 8. My stomach was really upset, so I had to treat it as if it was like a stomach bug or a stomach infection. I took a lot of naps. I just took care of my body. I allowed myself to rest and to just do the things that made me feel good. Before I started resting, though, I did do a couple of things that made me think that I might have overdone it. For example, we got lost in the woods, so I ended up walking for probably over 3 miles, and that was not super great, especially because the surface was a little bit hilly, it was a little bit rocky. At the end of the day, I was super tired, and that might have also triggered how bad I was feeling during week 9. Other than that, things were getting better. I transitioned from the blue band to the black band for the leg clamps and the sidewalks and the monster walks. And I was also doing squats with 20 pounds, which for me is something that has never happened. Even before the surgery, I was not squatting with that much weight. Yes, that much weight. That was also, another challenge. Overall, the hip was feeling okay, I guess, during that time. Pain-wise, going down like in a, not even deep, but like a little bit lower squat was painful. The deadlifts were a little bit painful, but the pain would go away once I stopped during the exercise. So that's week 9. Let me take you to week 10. This is week 10! Yay! For some reason, I am super excited about week 10. I don't know why, it's just a milestone that was set in my head. There isn't really anything specific in my surgery guide or with my physical therapy journey that talks about a 10-week milestone. Nothing has really changed. Spoiler alert, things are still the same. However, for me, it was really important to hit the 10 weeks. So here we are. 10 weeks after the surgery, very happy and very excited to tell you a little bit about how this week has been. This week has been a better week than last week for sure. It's been a week of recovery and also relearning how to incorporate things in my life in a way that I am not gonna feel super exhausted or like a truck just run over me after finishing them. The week started very easy, very chill. I was still doing my physical therapy exercises, and then over the weekend I decided to go to the Symphony, which was a great idea, not only because I love ABBA music, but also because it was a great way to practice being seated for a longer period of time. We are going to the Symphony today. They are playing ABBA music and I am super excited. This is the first event where I'm supposed to be sitting on a chair for an extended period of time without being able to actually just take breaks. I should have chosen an aisle seat, but I guess I overestimated myself and I actually forgot about that. So we're sitting with everybody else and just hoping that everything goes well. Let's see how it goes. The show is over and I'm really happy because everything went well. Well, it was actually a really good show, but besides that, the hip behaved really well. It was 40 minutes, a break, and then another 40 minutes, so it was perfect for me to ease myself into sitting again, going back to normal life, so I'm super excited about it. And the same day that I went to the Symphony, I also watched a full movie, sitting down in my house, with also the objective of allowing me to take breaks, which I did. In between the movie, stand up and figure out what makes my hip comfortable, how much time am I willing to sit, things like that. And it was great. I did finish the movie. I stood up a couple of times, but it was good to do these things in more homey environments because I was feeling free to do whatever I needed depending on what my body was telling me. And this also meant that my heel started to get better. I'm doing some strengthening exercises for my heel, and I'm also doing my physical therapy exercises barefoot. That way the feet can work more than what they would if they were in a shoe. So the swelling has gone down, the pain has completely disappeared. I still do feel like the heel sometimes gives in a little bit, but I do see a difference in how my heel is reacting. And I also think, of course, it comes from being more aware that I have to put my weight in both legs instead of just charging everything on the left leg. Another milestone of this week was that I was able to step on a ladder. It was actually a step ladder, step on a ladder, step on a step ladder. Only 2 steps. I needed to grab something that was in the counter up there in the kitchen, and I did it. The ability of doing that without feeling like my body's gonna fail me was great. I was really happy to be able to go up and down, no problem. Everything was great. You know, with all of that I did, and the recovery and taking things easy and also listening to my body, I felt like I was ready to try again to go back to the office. Here we go again. I am already pretty nervous. My stomach woke up upset and I'm anxious. The plan is to just go for a few hours. I think it's important for me to ease in, like little by little, gradually go back to the office and see that it's not going to do anything bad to me. Yeah, fingers crossed that everything goes well. It's just a couple of hours and I can leave whenever I feel bad. That was the lesson I learned last time. We made it! I'm still alive and everything was okay. I stayed for around 3 hours and a half. Sat for only half an hour because I'm still not super comfortable with the sitting, and it definitely takes a toll not to be able to step on the yoga mats. The yoga mats are definitely a game changer when I'm working standing on my feet. It was a milestone to see that I can go to the office and still be okay, adding up a few hours at a time to build up to a full day in the office. And all these nice things led to the first day of physical therapy in this week, where I came in almost with 0 feedback, which is great because no feedback is good feedback. I haven't really had a lot of pain in the hip. I do feel a little bit of discomfort when I do squats, but we'll get there in a minute. I have also realized that when I do sharp turns, like if I was to turn like this, I don't know if I have already learned subconsciously that I have to move both feet together so I don't open the hip, or I am actually opening the hip a little bit, but it's getting better, so I am not feeling that pain anymore. Now, I do have some complaints about the squats. I am very frustrated with them, and not because of the exercise itself, but because of the very, very poor form of my own squats, which is something that is a result of years of doing squats the wrong way, not knowing what I was doing wrong and not having anybody to fix it. So it's a little bit of a frustration because I would have expected that my PE teachers would have cared, or I don't know, the trainers in the gyms, in your group classes, that, you know, some people either don't know or don't have the time to look at every single student to fix the form. So years of doing squats the wrong way have led me to have a very hard time now fixing those bad habits. So the first bad habit that I have comes from that myth that you are not supposed to send your knee farther than your toes when you're squatting. That apparently is incorrect. It's a technique that got lost in translation. It started, from what I understand. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Please leave a comment if I am saying things that are not correct. But my understanding is that it started because people were doing squats on their tippy toes and sending the knee too much forward. The knee was starting to get injured. So in order to avoid this from happening, the strict rule was don't send your knee farther than your toes. However, if you have a good form squatting, you do need to send that knee further than your toes to be able to squat down and not feel like you don't have any balance and fall back. Second issue is that I have the bad habit of adding more weight to my right leg when I am squatting. So instead of squatting down like this, my pelvis kind of squats down like this, or sometimes it squats down like this. So there are so many things that I need to worry about. Now I'm working in front of the mirror and I go down perfectly straight, but then it turns out that my knees did not go forward. Or when my knees go forward, turns out that my butt is too much on the right. Or sometimes it's even too much on the left because I am compensating for not going to the right. So it has been very frustrating. And I really wish someone would have fixed this when I was a kid or growing up. But the good thing is that you can fix it, so don't get discouraged. There are things that you will find along your recovery, like the squats, that will be frustrating, but it's all necessary for a good recovery and for a good life. You know, like if I want to go back to sports, I definitely have to be able to do a decent squat. That's the squat rant. I apologize for that. To finish the week, I went to the year gala of my figure skating club, and that was really nice because I got to see the people that I skate with in the rink. I got to see my coach, and at the end we had awards, and I won the award for the bravest woman. Coming out of the gala, and I got a trophy and a certificate for the bravest woman. That for sure comes from the fact that I had to go through surgery. So very, very excited about that. I really cannot wait to go back and do everything that I want to do. And that's, I think, something that I will close this video with, is how at this point I can say that I might have overcome the worst of the boring phase. But now I'm getting to a point that I will title it the constrained phase, because I am allowed to do a lot of things now. I'm allowed to live a normal sedentary life, but I cannot run, I cannot jump, I cannot go dancing, I cannot go back to my sports, and it might feel like I physically can, but I shouldn't. So it's gonna test my patience because I feel like I am ready, but I am not allowed to do it yet, and I definitely wanna have the best recovery possible, so I gotta stick to the rules. It's hard though. Thank you so much for watching the video and for making it till the end. I hope that you liked it. I hope that it helped somehow. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or recommendations or comments about how your journey has been or how you've been living this, please drop them down in the comment section. And stay tuned because I will keep documenting my recovery journey and all the small or big lessons that I am learning throughout this process. Bye!